Well, it means that we have no longer a parliament, and that is going to add to the mess we are going through since the last 18 months when the revolution came about. It means that we are going to elect a president over the weekend without a constitution, without a parliament. You will have a president with imperial powers, that he is going to be the legislator, he is going to be the executive, which is a total mess in my view. I don't know how we are going to go through it in that fashion. So it crowned 18 months of total mismanagement of the transition from a dictatorship to democracy.
When you talk about a leader with imperial powers, that's very frightening, and that, of course, is what many people say that you had before the revolution.
That's correct. I mean, theoretically, he would have more power than Mr. Mubarak. The uprising did not come about to have a consolidation of an authoritarian system when we have a pharaoh, in fact. Whoever is going to be elected, Edward, is going to be a person with unchecked authority. And that is very frightening, in fact.
Who do you blame for what you call the mess?
Oh, absolutely the military. This was the stupidest transition in history.
What do you do now, given that this is the position that you're in? What would you like to see happen?
Well, I think what we like to see is to take whatever corrective measures that we can take at this stage. And one of the major issues we have to face is whether we can get into dialogue with whoever is going to be elected and try to see whether we can have a formula for sharing power, for ensuring that he will implement the basic demands of the revolution, and try eventually to find a formula for national reconciliation. I think that is what is needed right now. We cannot continue to be in a revolutionary mode for the next 40 years. Everybody would lose. So we need to see whether they are ready, whoever is going to get elected, to have a formula by which at least to get the economy jump-started, we get security back in the street, and we make sure that these people understand that the revolution was not just about cosmetic change, but was about a major change in the mode, attitude, and including, of course, people, from the old regime to a new phase in Egypt. And that is really the major issue, whether the youth, who are very depressed right now, are ready to engage with whoever is going to get elected. They see a choice between a rock and a hard place right now. There's a lot of depression, a lot of letdown in Egypt right now.
The Muslim Brotherhood could be forgiven for feeling depressed and let down, as you put it, because they could say we won fair and square in the elections, and now that has been stolen from us.
Well, they also had their share of blame, frankly. I mean, they tried to be the dominant in parliament in trying to get the presidential election in their favor, even the Constituent Assembly, and I think that was the last blow for them. They tried to dominate the Constituent Assembly that was going to put a draft constitution, and that created a lot of angst in Egypt because they were elected fair and square, but they had a huge advantage by competing after the revolution, when they had 80 years on the ground, while the liberal parties had 3 months, were 3 months old. So rather than trying to grab all power, they should have understood that they need to share power. So there is a backlash against them also in Egypt right now.
Let me finally ask you, who are you going to vote for? Are you going to vote for the Muslim Brotherhood's candidate, Mr. Morsi, or are you going to vote for a man associated with the old regime, Ahmed Shafiq?
I'm not going to participate in the vote. I didn't take part in the first round of election, and I'm not going to take part in the election this weekend. To me, the whole framework is a sham, Edward. I think what we need to do is to try to see how we restore legitimacy, how we make sure that the revolution goals are going to be implemented, maybe not in the immediate future, but at least in medium term.
Mohammed El-Baradei.